Tubers! It is 4 a.m. I just got off work about an hour ago. And I thought I would play around with this while I'm still awake. I'm going to be awake for a little while. I thought I'd get something done instead of sitting twiddling my fingers and waiting for sleep to grace me with its presence. So, bought this the other day. Got it for 35 bucks. This is the generator that everybody sells. I've seen them in green, red, blue. I'm sure there's other colors. They're all the same generator, even though their ratings are slightly different. Their heads might be slightly different, but they're all the same generator. So we're going to go ahead and repair this one today. What we've got going on. The gas that's in it doesn't smell too bad. Still has the mixing cup. Yeah, the gas really doesn't smell too bad. It's getting there, but it's not bad yet. But it will not start. Won't fire over. Won't nothing. I want to start by shutting the gas off over here. And for anybody with generators or anything that has a shut-off valve like this, when you're done with it and it's going to sit more than a week, I know that might sound slightly excessive, but if it's going to sit more than a week, shut your fuel off and let it run out of fuel. If you can stay near it and you hear it start running out of fuel, if it's got a choke, start turning the choke on, trying to keep it running until it totally shuts off and run all the fuel out of the carburetor. If you do that, you'll never have these type of issues of not starting and having issues with that. And well, as well as this one, you've got this is to pull the bottom of the carburetor off. This is to let the fuel out of the carburetor, which is turned the wrong direction. It's pointed right here. When we put the bottom of this carburetor back on, we're going to want to point that this way so you can at least pull this cover up or access it through the corner here. Be able to open that up and drain all the fuel out. Because if there's no fuel in the carburetor, there's no fuel to varnish it up. So there's an engine switch here. I've already unplugged that very carefully. The orange, it doesn't matter where they were, but the orange one was on the bottom of the switch or on the open circuit side, or the O. There's plugs. There are more plugs back here, but I think we should be able to get to what we need to do without unplugging them. I'm just taking a video for anybody who may need how things are set up. As you can see, somebody else has been in here. You've got the clamp taken off there, as you can see. Obviously, not really leaking any fuel, so that's good. But I will be putting an inline fuel filter in there. I always do on just about everything. If you can fit a filter, put a filter in there. I might also be replacing this fuel line. But we're going to go ahead and pull the bottom of this carburetor off, possibly pull the carburetor out of there. Let's go ahead and do that. I do apologize ahead of time for the lighting situation, especially with me looking away with my headlamp on. Fuel that's coming out of here smells pretty rancid. It's actually smelling pretty bad. Like I was saying earlier, the fuel in the tank doesn't smell too bad, but the stuff in the carburetor smells horrid. It smells pretty rancid, so that's just to prove that stuff, for some reason, stuff that's sitting in the carburetor will go bad faster than what's sitting in the tank. Got a little bit of garbage there on the bottom of there, or on the screw, coming off pretty easy. Set that to the side, pull the bottom of the carburetor off without spilling too much of that. There's a lot of garbage in there as well. There's fine silt, most likely made of rust. That's one of the reasons why you put a fuel filter on, especially if you have a steel tank. If you've got a steel tank, put a filter on. I don't care how well you keep it. Plastic tanks, you can get away with it, but probably not for very long. So we're going to go ahead and pull the jet out of the side here. It's most likely plugged. Well, I didn't realize I had my phone on super high quality, so we got interrupted there. So, off camera, I just cleaned this tank out. There was all sorts of rust and garbage coming out of it. There was no fuel coming out of the fuel petcock there. Got new fuel line on. That's a brand new piece. There's just an STP fuel filter for small engines from AutoZone. They're not my first choice. There's plenty of other ones I like, but this is better than not having anything. And then another little piece of fuel line and a clamp. I need to get clamps for other parts, but this will be fine for now. This is 1/4 inch fuel line for anybody who's asking. That is the correct size for that. So we went ahead and pulled that jet out of there, and it is completely clogged, like completely. So we're gonna go ahead and clean that guy out. Yeah, totally clogged. I also went ahead and sprayed up in here. There's a lot of garbage that came out of there. Sprayed over here, more came out, and made sure each one of these holes with the brass orifice, they're all clear, they have flow, and especially that one. That would be your idle. Nope, that would be your idle jet, I think. Nope, I take it back. That's your idle jet. That's more of a choke, but that's your idle. There's a jet up top here for your idle, but I'm not going to pull that out. I don't think it's necessary, seeing as these really don't ever idle. They just go to 1 speed and you're good to go. Other than they use that idle probably right off the hop, right as you take the choke off. It might use that idle circuit just for a second, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean that guy out, and we'll see what that looks like after. Like I said before, I am sorry for the quality of video. This is just a really quick and dirty video. I thought I'd get this done tonight while I'm kind of just sitting here bored. It's probably about 4:30 a.m. I get off around 2 a.m. Get home around 3. So just finding something to do, wind down. Thankfully the mosquitoes aren't out tonight, so we're working on a generator. So that's pretty clean now. Got it all, if it'll focus. Got it all cleaned out. It's not like 100%, as you can see along the edge there. It's not super clean, but down where the jet is, it's nice and sparkly clean. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy reinstalled. I got the, wherever it is, screw right here, cleaned up. I get this guy back in, get that guy back together, button all this back up, see what we get. Alright, let's finish this video off. Mixed up some fresh fuel for it. Put fresh unleaded. I don't even know if you can buy leaded anymore. Well, you can at airports. That is 110 blue, 110 octane fuel, no ethanol on, and they actually tint it blue. Mixed up some 88 octane ethanol free for this guy. Put some B12 chem tool. It's just what I put in a lot of different things. Good for carburetors. Stuff's been around forever. Also, it says 50-to-1. I never ever mix that lean. That just doesn't make any sense to me. I never mix anything less than 40-to-1. You know, if it's going to be smoky at 40-to-1, then yeah, you might be able to go 50-to-1. But I would never mix 50-to-1, because you make a little mistake and you burn your engine up. I've seen so many pieces of equipment brought to me. Oh, I mixed it right. You know, it's the right stuff, and it just burned it up at 50-to-1. I never mix anything less than 40-to-1. Anyways, let's see if we can get this started. I'm going to let it start for just a second if it does, and then shut it right off, because it is 5 a.m. So let's see what we can do about sitting you down somewhere. I don't have my camera stand right now, and I am using my cell phone. That looks good enough. Let's go ahead and choke it. I'll obviously it runs. It runs really well, actually. It's got that 2-stroke smell to it. Alright, well, I'm going to put the air filter box back on there. Really not a box, but a cover. And we'll fiddle with it in the morning. If you see the morning video, you'll see that coming up next. If not, I'll leave it there. You know, we'll leave it here rather. Either way, hope you have a good one, tubers. Like I said, if you see another video, sweet. But if not, I'll have some links popping up here. If you guys want to subscribe, that would be awesome. Hope you have a good one, tubers. See ya. Bye.